I'll just wait for a few people to get on and we can start the collective energy, which is going to be a regular thing each month, and I'll be doing mid-month videos as well for each element, so to speak. So I'll just wait for a few people to get on. We're going to be doing Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces, the water elements. So if you guys haven't watched your videos for the month, please jump through and have a look at those. They do have almost like a spiritual weather forecast connected to the zodiacs and the planets of what's going to be happening. Yeah, what element are you? Are you cross-watching? Sorry I didn't get on last night. I was probably in the same mindset, and I'm Cancer Moon Rising. Hi, Soul Rebel. Hello again. Cancer. Okay, so again, I will wait for a few people to jump on, and then we can get straight into the video of what I'm feeling is coming through for each element. Oh, the joy. You guys, for your birthday month, are going to be, you're going to have the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the way it goes, right? So for those of you who it is, well, congratulations. But what's going on with you guys is super heavy. So, yeah, you get to see me again. Poor you. Capricorn moon. Okay, so how many different zodiac signs do we have on here for the water element? Now, I have mentioned it in the other videos, so if you've been cross-watching, I apologise, but I'm going to do this in each element. I'm going to explain the dynamic of why some of what we are directly dealing with. Welcome, Scorpio. Okay, now, when it comes to the planets in retrograde, some of the lessons that they're teaching us, some of the Chiron's going to be here for 8 years, theoretically 9. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer. He is the sun planet of Saturn, I believe. Now, how do I put it? It's almost like a healing is coming through with certain planets. Now, although we'll be in a retrograde, a lot of things from the past are going to come back, be it internally or of a 3D nature. Now, when I say a 3D nature, I mean in person. So it could be an old boss, an old flame. It could be emotions connected to past romances. It's just everything is being dragged up. And it's for reassessment under the microscope, where you're having a fine look at it and you're needing to ask yourself, have I missed something? Has something been not finalised correctly, or does it need a better look at to be recommenced? Now, these will more be old energies. They won't be new energies. If it's a new environment, it's probably not the best time to jump into something new. It's not to say you can't look at it and build a foundation, but it's the footings more so than the actual direct action on it, okay? So when it comes to the planets, as I said to you, universe tends to give us the 3 rule. Now, the reason I have been mentioning 2016, 2017 is because I've seen a trend. Now, in 2016, as I mentioned in the previous videos, for those of you who have seen the other videos, I'm sorry, I've got to mention it again. The way in which we dealt with 2016 was it dealt with us, because we were trying to have forward motion, yet we were really pushing shit uphill. That's the only way I can describe it. We were trying so hard to implement new things, to try new things, to build towers and castles in the sky, but things just weren't happening. And if they were almost happening at 1 pace forward, 20 paces back. 2016 was a very, very heavy, difficult year, and it was a lesson. It was to show us where we didn't have power, and it was teaching us to slow down, and because we were missing things and we weren't completing things and we were trying to run away from things, but now we can't run away from them. 2017 was more, the ego had been like knocked so hard to the point where the only thing we directly could do was deal with what was in front of us, because before we had to work so hard on any given task that come to us to really get the forward motion. And it's like we saw things through. So it was like a wheel, but it was moving and there was forward motion. But you couldn't directly apply your energy to too many areas at one given time. It was one subject matter. Tick, finalized, move forward, next one, tick. So that was very exhausting as well. It was almost like a process, so to speak. So it was re-educating us on the aspect of applying our energy and doing the process to get something out of it, having to put work in. 2018, it's showing us from 2016 and 2017 what work do we need to put in, and you know, where we didn't have control. Now we're looking at it. We're doing a scrolling of our life and then an internalizing of it to bring it out, to do a correction of our life, if that makes sense. So if you've run away from yourself all your life, for you personally and spiritually, that is going to be a huge trigger point. This is for every zodiac sign. It's not the planets are out to get you or your life is out to get you. It's showing you where have you physically given your power away in your life. Now, we all hold power in our own life, and this isn't to do with somebody else coming in and, you know, trying to control you. This is the universe's way of showing us where have we been putting a fake mask on. Where have we been to the point where we couldn't be ourselves and we couldn't be accepted in our own skin? A lot of moving through our life, what we would have done is experienced a dynamic from childhood onwards and then move forward to a point where we fit into certain categories. Now, the reason this is like, it's almost the age of Aquarius, really. We are doing a transformation, but it's not a transformation. We're peeling away the skin like we're a snake shedding skin. So we're coming into who we really are. We're not really going to be who we weren't. If we had to be a certain way due to our friendships, due to our relationships, due to our job, that's not fitting anymore, and it's becoming problematic, as well as any internal blocks we've had. Again, they're not allowed to stay there anymore. Universe isn't letting that happen, and your spirit actually isn't letting that happen. So what you're actually doing is, when we say we wish universe would just force our hand, that's directly what's happening. But universe is being super strict with us. It's almost saying, well, if you won't use your power, we're going to put that flash torch onto your life so that you can look at it and you can say, well, is this really working for you? Is this vibrationally correct for you? Could you do what you're currently doing right now for the rest of your life and make it through the other side? Are you going to have progression in your life? Are you avoiding the aspects of responsibility in your life? Some of it could be due to 3D situations. So again, 2016, where we had no control. 2017, where we did, but we had to do the work. Now we're applying it in 2018. Where can you do work in your life? And where have you allowed yourself to be in a particular vibration or stuck for far too long, and you've tolerated it due to what you thought society felt you should be doing? It's pushing you like a vice. And although when we're in ego, we can't do it. We can't because of this 3D situation. Universe isn't letting that happen now. It's actually forcing you, almost like, and I feel for the water signs, it's like you have a hand around your throat and it's really squashing it, saying, communicate your truth, feel your truth, be in your truth. So with retrograde, what you will find is there's going to be a lot of things coming up. You're going to be really assessing, like a fly on the wall, your current environment. You're going to do all you can to put the rose-colored glasses on, but they're so dirty from the perception of situations that they're being taken off with these planets. So we're having to have, instead of them being rose-colored glasses where we see the best in situations and we keep applying ourselves to the detriment of our own health, we're now physically looking at it in a point of they've broken, we've had to take them off, and we're seeing this nast. Now we are replacing them with a magnifying glass, and we're actually seeing, sensing, feeling the environment. So if it was heightened for you guys before, it's going to be 10 times higher around a retrograde. And on top of that, you're not going to have the free-flowing energy where you go, this will pass, because it's the entire month, which is heavier. So that's going to give you an idea of where those areas are going to be in your life this month that are going to come up for highlight. Now, some of the planets are retrograde through to August. So if those areas need to be addressed and directly related to, what you're going to find is it's going to be a tightening of that vice to a point you'll have no choice. It will either impact your health. You'll have tower moments connected to the removal of situations from your life, so you can address either the 3D nature of a situation or the internal nature of a situation. Not the best time to sign contracts around the 26th. And although you're trying to be, and this could come in any shape in your life, it can be connected to family expectations or obligations, work obligations. And we're really trying to find a balance between our working aspect of responsibility life and our physical life. And it's like for certain zodiac signs, that's been out of balance. Which zodiac signs do you want me to tune into first? Okay, so we've got Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So I'll go into the actual sign now, and I'll talk about each thing of what I'm feeling psychically speaking. I'll wait for someone to put up a request, and then I'll go into that sign. I also feel a dizziness with you guys, so don't feel confused if it could be something that you're actually doing. But I almost feel an overwhelmed energy. Pisces, okay. I feel an overwhelmed energy. Now, there could be something to do with your health that needs checking. It might be, they can be aspects of ascension symptoms. Now, if you don't know what ascension symptoms are, type it into YouTube and go and have a look so you can connect the dots. I mean, in some of the videos I do talk about it, but they can, obviously, if you feel it's a medical related area, you'd need to go and get it checked. I'd never advise for you to just place it in a box and say that that's what it is. Especially working in the healthcare field. Yes, I'm spiritual, but I'm also I'm a realist as well. So those things would need to be checked. But I do feel an aspect of lightheadedness, and this is for the whole of water signs. So it can be that you're feeling overwhelmed. It can be that you're using vices connected to coping with these energies. But it's an overwhelming feeling. Pisces, I'm feeling your health. There might be some doctor's appointments and health checks, so to speak. You're concerned, but at times I feel you're a little bit isolated. You actually do, you're very interconnected. I'll do Cancer directly after. You feel interconnected, but you're evolving to a point where you're shedding your skin like a snake as well, but you're assessing things. You're feeling things very heavily lately. You're also piecing together the puzzle of your life connected to childhood, and you're wanting that connection and that balance back in family life and your emotional life. Some of you are looking at your careers, and like I said, it depends on the energies that are coming through at the time. For some of you, you're really looking at where you're wanting to go from here, and it's a big move for some of you. It's a real big move connected to finances. It's almost like a leap of faith, and you're saying, yeah. And some of you may actually feel this is an age bracket situation. It can be connected to your ascension symptoms, because a lot of us are going through certain frequencies at the moment that are directly impacting us. Even our solar plexus has been interfered with. Okay, yes, I can feel it. So you guys have a bit of an energy around you that is an energy vampire. Now, it could be your vibration is low, so you're picking up on it and you're absorbing these energies. So it's environmental, so to speak. Others of you, it can be that you feel there's a vampire around you, so to speak, a spiritual vampire, and that can be a negative person, and you're just like, just get out of my face, you're really taxing my energy. Pisces, I do feel you guys are actually going to take a leap of faith connected to employment. And I do feel you're going to reach for the stars. It may not be that you're going to implement it right away. And again, if you are signing contracts, try and get them signed before the 26th of July. Because when we do go retrograde in that area, it can delay contracts. Make sure you check your emails, that physically has gone through and that person has received it. So be responsible connected to you following things up. Otherwise, that might not go through. Some of you also are looking at the home front and saying you're either going to change it. Again, don't do a movement yet connected to contracts if you can. I mean, if you have to, you have to. More use the foundation work right now to apply your energy of what you're wanting to do. But I do see like new contracts and I do see forward motion. Some of you have been waiting for a case to settle. And the finalisation of that paperwork as well. It can be connected to workers' compensation or an accident as such for some of you. But it feels you're ticking the boxes on that and you're waiting to hear news back. I'm going to read these as they come through. Okay, romantically speaking, some Pisces have been thinking back over a past tense person. You might be having conflicts for some of you that have an ex-partner. And this conflict can be with them connected to children. Disputes connected to the arrangements of care or, you know, the way you guys are parenting. It's just not meshing and molding. Again, remember we're in retrograde, so slow down and hear the other person's perspective, because there's a lot of miscommunication and you're probably saying exactly the same thing, but like it's a bit like space language, you know, where you're on two different kind of mindsets, but you're actually saying the same thing. So it seems cross wires in that given situation. Don't be surprised, again, like I've mentioned in the other videos, if you do have a blast from the past. I do feel a lot of you having that, but I can see travel connected to you guys as well. Be very mindful to make sure you got your tickets, your accommodation and everything in order. That's going to be very important, especially during the retrograde. Make sure you take medical insurance out if you're traveling. You want to make sure everything's in order. And I can see for some of you who are doing that travel, you're going to miss something and not pack it. And it's quite an important thing. So go back and check. Okay. Any aspects connected to love, you're going to need to tune into your intuition connected to it. I do feel, again, you're waiting on something. Some of you have a person at a distance who you're waiting on hearing communication from. This is for Pisces. It's coming through, but it's coming through slow. There's delays for this, but it's not saying it's not coming. It may not happen right away. Remember, we are having certain planets retrograde, so forward motion with that particular person can be anywhere between July, and I see a telephone call. July and August, I see more movement in that department. Okay, Cancer. Your health. I feel there's a dizziness connected to you guys. I mean, when I was looking at the two, I'm sensing something completely different with Scorpio. But with Cancer, I feel an overwhelmed energy. On the 3D, it's, you know, you're displaying to the people around you, to the people connected to you that you're okay. But you're actually meditating. You're really meditating. At times connected to certain areas. You're feeling very dizzy, very overwhelmed. I do feel a lack of sleep. Some of you could be having actual sleep apnea as well, because I feel like, or heart related. Please be careful with your heart as well. It's like, it's either tight chest, it's something is stressing you out, and you know, you need to get sleep. Just go and have a medical. I mean, what's it going to hurt? Go and have a medical and just get everything checked. I just feel you're overwhelmed by the amount of work you're doing. For some of you, it could be, it's not even the heart. It could be panic attacks and you actually don't even know that you're directly dealing with it. It feels like a chemical imbalance, like Look, could be thyroid, could be cholesterol or high blood pressure, but it feels like it's something that's just not right. But I do feel it's stress related for some reason. Stress related, but the lack of sleep and the lack of balance, depending on where you are in that zodiac sign, it's the overwhelmed energy. And I do feel your throat chakra to be really quiet. It's like you might be painting a picture to the 3D world, but internally you're really meditating on certain situations. Certain situations are going to crop up for you guys where you're actually going to meditate on it. And really, really do some regression work connected to family, childhood, 3D situations where you're wanting your life to go. Many of you are going to change job. Now, if you're working, you're either going to shift up a notch, but I feel you've got to walk very carefully. Don't go back over old ground connected to trusting that it's gospel and it's yours, but be careful the way you step forward. A position that you thought, no, you don't need, you do need, and you do want now. So you're wanting to step forward in that for those of you who are currently working. And I do feel the promotion is there. But I do feel you guys need to take a very short break. But you're going to have, this month is going to be really difficult for you guys emotionally, you know. So you're going to have your highs and lows, but just go with it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Try and get sleep where you can. That's really going to help your forward motion. Some of it you're wondering why you've applied your energy to so quickly. And others of you are really questioning your entire 3D situation. You know, some of you are thinking about where you want to be, how you want your life to look, and what you need to do to actually get yourself there. For others of you who aren't working, I do feel a split second and you're just going to go, I'm not going to be chained anymore. I'm going to get a job. This is it. I'm done. And it's almost like you have applied for jobs, but it's almost like the ego for all of us, this is all of us, the ego has actually told you due to a 3D situation you can't do it, but somehow you're having this magical idea connected to how you can, and you're actually saying to yourself, I don't care, I'm just going to jump, and you see the other side, and you actually do have contacts. So I feel you're going to go to this contact, and they're going to scoop you up, and everything is going to fall into place right away. Something's going to trigger this to happen though. So it's almost like you're looking at it going, no. And then just the next day, it's like you've woken up and you've gone and done it. That is going to change everything, and it's going to emotionally give you spiritual power back for some of you. I can't believe how busy your head is. It's very busy. How many cancers on here? Let me read what she said. Try and do some heart chakra work, doll. And don't tune into it, because tuning into it can manifest it. Yeah. Okay. What else am I picking? I do feel it's like a transformation. Yeah. I do feel it's a transformation. A lot of us are spiritually transforming. And a lot of us are looking at our 3D lives making massive changes, really living in the moment, really changing situations. You guys want to rewrite your story. You're also looking at your whole life about where the story was before and where it is today. And you're going, why have I felt that this is all I'm deserving of? It's almost like you're having to rewrite it mentally in your mind. It's a very sad feeling. It's like somehow, somewhere along the way, you guys have felt that you weren't deserving of a better storyline. Again, you've got to remember back to the beginning of this video where I was talking about 2016. These shake-ups haven't been there to punish us, but you guys have got the most, strong mind mentally and it feels mind over matter. So this new beginning is very much just before you. It is about mind over matter. You very much do have to choose. And it is a choice. And you do know when you set your head to something and you've made your mind up, you physically can do it. So it is really about you choosing what's going to be correct for you. You making healthy choices connected to what you feel is spiritually going to make you happy. But not just, it feels you've placed yourself not even second, 10th, you know, right down at the bottom of the barrel. And if you're not at the top of the barrel, you can't help anyone else. So you've just put yourself too far down in the barrel. It may mean a little retreat so that you can recoup to move forward, because I do feel it's health related. It's made you tired and you're needing to get to a place where you put yourself first. I heard this in a video before. It's like you don't get on an airplane. The first thing they teach you, and Alison would agree with this. I mean, I should tease her on. I said to her, I'm going to do one of those comedy videos for YouTube for the end of the year. It's a bit like getting on a plane. Air hostess comes through and says the plane's going down. And in the spiel that they tell you, put your mask on first before you help the other person. It's not going to help you if you don't have anything and then you have no oxygen to the brain and you can't help anyone else. You help yourself first before you help another person. And you have been doing that for far too long. So now it's directly impacting you. So you have the power. Do not look at your 3D situation that you have no power. You have every power, and every day we make a choice. No choice is a choice. And sometimes no choice is an unhealthy choice because you're giving your power away. So if you want power in your life in a healthy way, it's about you doing what you feel is correct and you taking your power back. But you've also got to spiritually speak your truth and own it at the same time. Don't worry about them. Take their power away. Almost disown what they're saying. It's very hard. You guys as Cancerians have given a lot over the years, and it is almost like you've got to be careful, because when you're accepting that toxic energy coming into you, it's almost like you guys physically own it. And then it can be this negative energy that can start coming out of you to a point where it's almost like, well, I'll show you. I mean, my mum's a Pisces and she's always like the shock factor, but I wouldn't be surprised in her chart if she's got a bit of that, a bit of Cancer, because it's almost like, well, if you say I am, like the Eminem song, I am whoever you say I am, but that's a choice too, you know. It's, well, what do you want to be? Ultimately speaking, it's a bit like the song I mentioned in the other video. You know, where J-Lo was saying, I'm not your mama. Well, hey, hang on a minute. You made yourself that. So what you're saying is what you are is, you know, who are you? Be who you want to be. It's your choice. It's your life. Don't allow external environments, external 3D situations to directly impact you and say who you are and where you can go. So it might be your belief in, I don't really want that job. And then suddenly you go, well, actually I do, because I've worked very hard in this industry for so long, so I'm going to achieve that. So you realize where your dreams are and where others are, but you've got to live your own. And when you're happy, everything else is going to flow. Aspects connected to finances, again, it's 50-50 for Cancers, where you're on one side of the scale where you're either earning heaps and it directly doesn't mean anything and you're working on your aspect of spirituality, or at the other end of the barrel, of just everything, you're working on everything, and that's quite a heavy energy for those of you who that directly relates. But keep persevering. I do see pockets this month that are going to be absolutely fantastic and enlightening. I do see blasts from the past connected to friendships, people, surprises, you know, and so be happy and use that energy where you can. Get your ducks in a row connected to it and keep moving. Scorpio, you guys, ooh. It's hot or cold with you guys. It's yes or it's no. Like, that's the only song I can think of in my head. It's hot or it's cold. It's yes or it's no. It's like you're looking at your work and it's black or it's white. It really is. It's either you want the job or you hate the job. There's no ifs and buts in between. If you're hating that job, you're finding it hard to not vomit that verbal diarrhea out and say, that does not sit right with me. You're very passionate at the moment. So just be careful to tame that passion and direct it in a different area. If you physically feel you're in a job and you do not like it, what do you like? Keep with the job. Just apply the necessary. I'll do anything necessary, right? And then start working on that secondary position. If you've got a job coming through and it's new and you're super pumped about it, again, I'll say try and get it done before the 26th, because you want that contract and that kind of karma and that energy to move forward correctly. Also be careful connected to references, you know, who you're getting your references from, because how do I put it? I'm hearing that you should actually double check and do a dummy phone call to see whether they're going to give you a good reference. I do feel some of you are actually moving into the aspect of spirituality. You're doing something that's more spiritually aligned, connected to you. Some of you need to check whether you're doing a job directly because it's connected to your childhood, and it may be that you're all of a sudden doing something and you're going, why am I doing this? It's like you guys are doing a 360. You're really like, you're thinking you're on the right path and something stops you this month. And then it's like, have you missed something? So you're going to look back over it and say, does this directly apply to me? Is this spiritually aligned with who I want to be and where I want to go in my life? Or am I doing this for the sake of doing it? Do you know what I mean? So you're weighing up the pros and the cons connected to it, and you're really having a look at it. Some of you might be not that interested in the cash component. You want to do something that you really love. I mean, you really, and others of you, I'm actually finding that you felt that you couldn't do this, yet it's always been your gift to manifest cash, to reach for the stars and reach your full potential financially speaking. All the water signs really have mass abilities, intellectually speaking, to achieve those dreams. And I do feel for Scorpio, that's going to be realised this month. And I do feel an offer coming out of left field for some of you where you didn't see coming. And you're like, oh, should I take that? You might even be leaving a place of employment and suddenly they say, can you do the higher position? And you're like, are you joking? I haven't been the nicest here. It just feels this very odd energy connected to it. In love, again, blasts from the past. It's one person though. This is one person that is on your mind. I'm hearing the song again. I've got you on my mind. You don't know why this person keeps popping up in your mind. Some of you do, but this person in particular keeps popping in your mind. It may be that you're quite happy in your life and this person keeps popping up in your mind and you're really questioning why. It might be a twin for some of you. For others of you, it might directly be that they have an energy that you really need to entertain. And when I say entertain, you need to kind of take some of their personal energy and live it. So it may be they inspire you because of a disposition they currently have, and you need to own some of that energy. I do feel a bit of travel for some of you guys at a spur of the moment, so it might be short trips, and it may be that you guys are actually planning to travel. You're also watching someone and you're very intuitive about it. It's almost like you're superstitious of them, so you're actually snooping. Am I right? Had no comments come up in a few minutes. Who are you snooping on, Scorpio? Oh. Yeah, true. Okay. Look, sometimes even a trigger point is something that we look at, and it doesn't have to be the negative trait, because I do know what you mean. It's almost like, I heard someone describe the aspect of Scorpio the other day, and Scorpio is my Venus house, funny enough. Wonder how this directly relates to me. I'll have to listen to it later. I always do these videos and I'm not thinking of myself as I was doing it. Bye, Sula, love you. And okay, so the way they described a Scorpio is you really want to hear it. You're like, come on, hit me with it. What happened? And then you're like, oh no, I don't want to be part of that. Wow. So it's like you want to hear it, but you don't want to involve yourself, which is fine. It makes you guys great listeners. But you want to know. I should name every video Hot Goss. Okay, what do Scorpions want to know? Is there anything else before I go? I do feel your finances are going to pick up though. Although you might be looking at a situation, you may be concerned about a partner too for some reason. I don't know why that's come through. For some of you who are partnered, again, 50-50. Bye, lady. Happy travels. Any questions for Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces before I hit the road? And I've got one more video to do. I'll have a quick break and I'll come back, and then I'll be doing a lot of other things. Exercising, twin flame videos. None. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, intuitively, if you are directly connected in someone, you will find water signs. If you are feeling an emotion connected to a particular person, it's very heightened, more so than usual. You could be telepathically actually picking up on how they're feeling. So tune into that, you know. But there are mass changes for water signs this month. It's mass 360s. It's like you felt you were blocked, and then it's like execute. It's like you're ready to do it. So people might actually not know how to take you guys this month. It may be you're like, everything's looking 3D perfect, and then bang, something changes, and they're like, what just happened? Yeah, like earthquake. It's like there's an earthquake happening through your life, but you're physically causing it. But for the good and bad. So be careful. Is it good or bad? But watch your health this month, Cancer. And Scorpio, try and keep balanced and grounded. I'd say try and get to the beach if you can, or walk out on the grass, take your shoes off, get grounded. And Pisces, try and interact with people this month. Try and get out and about where you're not getting that energy down, because you need to change it up a little bit. Bit of vitamin D. Otherwise, I better let you guys go. Bye.